If you have any questions, I'm here for you. Happy Michael Jackson birthday day. He would be 62 today. Can you believe that? I can't. I remember when he was a little boy. Brazil, hello. Helen Oliveriados, maybe. Thank you, Tara. TA.RA. Thank you. Yes, I'm wearing my Dangerous jacket. If you were in my last live, I showed you and I went through my top 10 favorite songs. So hopefully you were there. We had fun. This is my Dangerous jacket that is on the cover of my book. I love this jacket. It's the same jacket right here. So Michael touched this jacket on this side. So it's a special jacket. I was the first person on the tour to get this jacket. All the band and background singers, they were all teasing me. They were like, where did you get that jacket? How did you get that jacket? And I cherish it to even today. I actually haven't worn this since the 90s. So I took it out in honor of Michael's birthday for you guys so that you could see it. And then I showed also my history tour jacket. This one, this has all of his albums on the sleeves. Thriller off the wall. I love this jacket. I actually still wear this jacket like when it's raining. And on the front is, of course, as I mentioned in my last live, if you see Michael merchandise, if it doesn't have King of Pop on the front, that means it's not legitimate. Michael made sure that King of Pop was written on everything that was sold about him. Any award show that he was on, they had to introduce him as the King of Pop. And that's the truth. A lot of people don't want to believe me on that one, but that's the absolute truth. I worked for his management, and that was one of the things that we had to make sure that award shows and places like that where he appeared, they adhered to his wants and needs, and being called the King of Pop was one of those things, and rightfully so, because he deserved that amount of respect to be called the king. And if he didn't demand it, they wouldn't do it. They just wouldn't. So he was very smart in doing that, and to this day he's still known as the King of Pop. So hey, it worked. Thanks, Nick. You like my jacket? Cool. London, hey. Happy birthday, Michael. Greece is here. michaeljackson.gr. Destiny, you're going into your senior year for high school? Wow. What city are you in? Are they like opening schools? Can you actually go to school, or is it homeschooling? Tara, what was Michael Jackson's voice like? Because in the papers they're saying this soft speaking voice was fake. No, it wasn't fake. I talked to him every day for like 5 or 6 years. So I know how he spoke. And it wasn't like he had like this very deep voice. He didn't, but it wasn't very high either. It was how you heard him talk like in the 2000s. And that voice was, it wasn't high and it wasn't very deep either, but it was a nice normal tone, And I also did Ghost with him, where he played the mayor, where he had that sort of deep voice, and he could easily just go back and forth from that voice to his Michael voice. And he also was very good at imitating people. Like when you would call him on the phone, he would pretend to be his own assistant. So whenever I called him, he'd answer in a British accent, like a Cockney accent, like hello, hello. And I remember I would say, "Is Michael there?" And he'd say, "Who's calling?" And I'd just go along with it, because at that point I knew it was Michael pretending to be somebody else. So I'd say, it's Shana. And then he'd say, "Put her through." And then he'd pretend like he was holding to go get Michael. And I remember the first time that happened, I just started giggling after he did that, because I realized that it was actually Michael. And then he started giggling, and I was like, ugh, he got me, The first time I wasn't quite sure, but he was so good at practical jokes and imitating other people's voices. So did you guys watch the Spike Lee thing today? How was that? Calvin Witt, you usually watch my streams on YouTube, but you're finally able to see it live. Thank you. You like my jacket? Thank you. It looks pretty new, right? This is from 1992, so it's probably older than a lot of you who are watching this jacket. Did you guys do anything special for Michael's birthday today? Last night I did a wonderful live with the fans from the Philippines, the Philippine fan club, and we were on a Zoom with Travis Payne and Saida Garrett and Harrison Funk. We had a lot of fun. I love all of the fans in the Philippines. They're so sweet and nice. Destiny, it's because in an interview he said he didn't tell people to call him the King of Pop. I mean, what was he gonna say? Was that the Oprah interview where he said that? Someone's asking you these questions, trying to, get you to look bad, really. He wasn't going to say, yeah, make them call me the King of Pop. He had to, kind of like smooth it over and not really tell the truth, because they would have made that into something huge. And it really wasn't huge. It was just him wanting to be respected. That's it. So that's what that was all about. And it's not a big deal. It's not something that people should be upset that I revealed about him, because it really goes back to how passionate he was about being considered a king, and in the same realm as Elvis. He felt like he earned that, and he did. But in order to be respected, he had to demand it, unfortunately. And he felt it was because of the racism in the industry. They didn't treat black artists the same way that they treated white artists, like Elvis. So he made sure that they treated him with respect, and they did. And to this day, they're still calling him the King of Pop. So it worked. He was a brilliant, brilliant marketer, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not something that you should be upset about, because I got attacked by people saying that I was lying about that, and trust me, I'm not. Anyone who worked closely with him will tell you that it's true. But a lot of people didn't work closely with him like I did. I was in management, so we had a whole different relationship with him than like even his friends or family. They didn't know what was going on, in our office. There were a lot of things that we did that people didn't know about. And in my book, Michael and Me, I revealed a lot of those things. And a lot of those things, some fans just didn't want to believe they were true. But I'm trying to share some of, some inside stuff here to show you what goes into making a superstar, making the King of Pop. It's not like, it doesn't just happen. It's a whole system. It's Michael was very he was a Virgo, so he knew the steps that it took to become the most famous man in the world. It didn't just happen overnight. It was a system that he had. And he believed very much in that book, The Secret. I don't know if you've ever read The Secret, but Michael loved that book. He was really into the law of attraction, and he felt that if you keep saying something over and over, it'll stick. So the King of Pop, it stuck, and it worked. And to me, that's brilliant, and it's not something to be like ashamed of or upset about that he did. Vegas. Hey, Trevon. I lived in Vegas for a while. I was David Copperfield's assistant. I actually worked at the MGM Grand. Worked, but I also lived at the MGM Grand. That was my home. It's weird to live at a hotel. My living room was the casino. At first it's kind of exciting, but then like after about a month it got really old. I was like, I want to be home. I want my own kitchen. I want my own bed. I don't want this hotel life anymore. But we went on tour after that. Right after I saw Michael for New Year's Eve, we went on a tour on a bus across Canada and the west coast of America. And we were sleeping in little bunk beds. And at first, it's interesting because, it's a different kind of way of life. You're in a hotel every night. You're in a different city every night. Every show was sold out for us. But after a while, you kind of start like yearning for that normal life. And so then when I returned home to LA, I started like wanting to be back on the road. You get addicted to that road life, that bus life. It really is an addiction, and it's hard to get it out of your system. It takes a while. It really does. So I understand entertainers who just love being on the road all the time because it's a way of life. And it's a way of life that you can really get used to. Ukraine, hello. Skulk 93, why didn't Michael tour the U.S. anymore? After the allegations happened, he really felt like America turned his back on him. There were so many bad things in the press, and the police had raided his home, and he just felt like the Americans, not all Americans, but like the police and Tom Sneddon and all those people, they were out to get him. So he felt like if he came back over here, anything was possible. So he stayed away, and he felt like if he did a tour here, he didn't think anyone would show up. He really didn't, even though it would have been sold out like night after night. But he really didn't think people would show up for him in America, which that breaks my heart because I know that he has so many fans here in America, and his best tours for the Bad Tour, they were in America. I attended the Bad Tour. I think I saw that show like 10 times. I went in New York, DC, and LA, and those were the best shows ever. And the reason that the American shows were so much better, and I'm talking about the second leg, because I went to the New York show, Madison Square Garden, but that was the first leg. It wasn't as good as the second leg. The venues were kind of small compared to Europe, where he was in huge stadiums. In America, he was in like little arenas, no more than 20,000 people, and that made a huge difference. It was amazing. Jonathan Lozo, how do I stay so positive? I think that's just my personality, really. I meditate, so I try to like not take things personally. I get hated on, I get attacked. I go through a lot, and you have to have really tough skin to go through what I go through. Me and hundreds of other people, I'm sure, on the internet and in the public's eye. People can be very cruel and mean, and it hurts. We're people, and the things that you say, it affects me. It affects, any public figure. And I don't want to call myself a public figure, but, that's what it is when you're dealing with people that you don't know, and they're hating on you for just who knows what, just because. And that does hurt, but I meditate, and and that really helps because I'm able to focus and listen to the universe, and you realize that you're just a little speck on this earth. We're all just dots here. The universe is so huge, and our little problems are nothing compared to what's going on in the world. Sometimes, do you ever walk down the street and you see people, strangers, and you think, wow, they have their own lives, their own problems, their own friends, their own, all this stuff that's going on in their life we don't know anything about, And here we are thinking we're the center of the universe, but really every single person in this world, they're the center of their own universes. And it kind of makes you think like we're, you know, our little problems, they don't mean much because everybody has those same issues going on. And so you really have to think about that, like put it into perspective, like how important is this at the end of your life? What's going to mean the most, and what's going to count in the end, you know? And a lot of these things that go on every day, the bullying I get and the attacks, it's just not, it's not important because I know those people don't know me, they've never met me before, so I really can't take it to heart. I just have to, I have to remember that. And sometimes it's hard because people can be very cruel, but you have to keep things in perspective. Slow-mo 76, shout out from DC. Hey, yeah, I'm from Largo, Maryland. What's up? I love DC. It's been a while since I've been back, but that's where I grew up, and it's a great place to grow up, the DC area. Dennis E. Lee, Houston, Texas in the house. Hello. How did Michael celebrate his birthday? MCG.Paul. You know, he was a Jehovah's Witness for quite a while, and he didn't believe in celebrating birthdays. I think sometimes he would be on stage and they would bring out a cake. And I did go to one of his birthday parties at Neverland, his 45th birthday party, which was probably the last party he had. I know at Neverland it was like the last happy moment, because after that is when all the Arvizo junk happened. That was ridiculous, by the way. So yeah, I was with them there at his 45th birthday party at Neverland, and it was one of the last happy moments at Neverland. I think that was in September. Oh, I showed this in my live earlier. This is the program for that birthday party at Neverland. It's 45th, I believe. September 13th, 2003. So I got this. Boy, I wish there was a Michael Jackson birthday party at Neverland this year. Can you imagine? You don't really realize what you have until it's gone. And, you know, seeing Neverland like abandoned and nothing there, that really broke my heart. I saw videos of what it looks like now, and it's just so sad. It used to be so alive and full of life, and now it's just empty. You know, whenever I see abandoned places, to me it's a weird feeling, like abandoned shopping malls and abandoned old things. It's just imagining the life that used to be there. It can be really, really touching. Hi, Toronto. As I was saying, when I was at David Copperfield, we traveled across Canada. We didn't go to Toronto, but we were in Vancouver, Saskatoon, I believe, and like all these other little cities like towards the west coast of Canada, and it was freezing. We were there in February, and it was like negative 40 below or something crazy like that. But I was able to meet everyone in the audience, and you guys were great. Canadian people are the best. Renee ERL, do I know what movies Michael liked? He liked like Disney movies. I remember he loved this movie called Blank Check, and I think this movie called Powder, which I love too. I wrote in my book he liked this movie called Baccarat, and that's a really interesting movie. He loved it. It kind of like interconnects the entire world together. I don't think there's even any dialogue. It's just like these beautiful images across the world that are all connected together. Michael was very deep and spiritual, so he liked things that touched the heart, and he also liked fun movies like Disney type of movies, and the Three Stooges, of course, that kind of stuff. Hi, my fave Blasian. Thank you, cousin. That's my cousin. She lives in the Palm Desert area. Yo, Cassius Clay. Have I met Stevie Wonder? Yeah. I actually have some pictures of him that I took somewhere around here. I met him before a couple of times. Actually, you know what? one of the times I met Stevie Wonder, I was in the elevator when I worked for Michael's managers. It was Christmas. And we were going down to La Dome, which was this very popular, famous restaurant in Hollywood. And it happened to be in the lobby of our building where we managed Michael, 8730 Sunset Boulevard. And our Christmas luncheon was at La Dome. They had closed off like an area in the back for us. So all of our office, Sandy Gallen's office, we took the elevator to go down to La Dome. And I remember I got off of the elevator and there's Stevie Wonder standing right there as we got off the elevator. And I don't know, his brother, I think it was his brother, he he just was like, oh, can I have your number? He started calling me a lot. So we became friends, actually, me and his brother. So yeah, I have I've met Stevie Wonder. He's really nice, really down to earth and cool. Jonathan Lozo, do you stay in contact with Derek Morgan? Oh, I love Derek. We kept each other company on the sets of Ghosts and Is This Scary? We would just sit there and watch Michael and just laugh at all this crazy stuff that was happening. We stay in touch online, but I haven't seen him. I literally have not seen Derek since we did Ghosts in 1996. Miss Princess 1997, did I ever hear the alternate version of Give In to Me? Yeah, I love it. I love Give In to Me. You guys know, that's my favorite. Spin King Productions, how was it to see Michael dance in front of me? Oh, it was breathtaking. It really was. It was magical. When he did the Too Bad, I was standing right there, and I think that was our first day or night of filming Ghosts. We did that at nighttime, that dance scene, and that was the first day. And so, it was so exciting to be standing there, and here's Michael in his whole Michael Jackson, clothing and paraphernalia, and the wind is blowing through his hair, and he busts out into that Too Bad choreography, which just blew me away. I'd never seen anything like it. And during breaks, he kept looking at me, which made it even more special. And I didn't know why he kept staring at me. I was like, I wonder why he's staring at me. And then finally, when he was able to walk over to me, he walked over to me. So when you watch Ghost and you see that dance scene, imagine I'm standing there and he's walking over to me in between breaks, and he walks over to me and he asked me about my job. He's like, so how did they let you off, to do this? He was worried about my bosses, which were his managers, how they had let me off to work on his video, because we were there for a month. So I had to take off for a month to do this short film with him. And he asked me if I had told them that I was on the set with him, because he hadn't told his own managers that I was going to be in the video with him. He left that up to me. But I thought, until that moment, I thought that they knew. But when he, asked me if I had told them, I realized they didn't even know that that he had asked me to be in this video. But I had told them. And then he asked me who was taking my place at the front desk. That's how Michael was, asking all these random, just normal questions that you would not imagine Michael Jackson to ask you. But he, was worried, so who's taking your place at work? I said, oh, one of our runners is taking my place. But that's what was on his mind while he's doing that amazing, iconic dance scene. He's worried about who's taking my place at work. So you wouldn't expect that, but really, whenever Michael and I had conversations, it was just so normal. You're thinking he's saying something just deep and amazing, but a lot of times it was just silly, just normal stuff, which was endearing. Get 6716, did Michael Jackson ever see Poetic Justice? I'm sure he did, but believe it or not, I took his tickets to go to the premiere. I didn't personally take them, but one of Michael's assistants in his office at MJJ Productions got Michael's tickets to the premiere of Poetic Justice, and she invited me. So we went together and sat in Michael's seats at the Poetic Justice premiere, and we were right behind Janet. Jermaine, like the whole family was just right in front of us. And so it was interesting, to see the family's reaction to Janet cursing and, being a little bit different. I remember Jermaine was very, very shocked when Janet started saying all these curse words in the film. And it's funny, I remember I used to work for Halle Berry's manager. A lot of people don't know that. But Halle Berry's manager also managed Taraji Henson. But I went to the premiere of Halle Berry's movie. What's the movie that she won the Academy Award for? Monsters Ball. Yeah. And so I'm sitting right behind her and Eric Benet. She was married to Eric Benet at the time. And when the scene came on where she's like naked and doing all this crazy stuff on screen, I think it was her high school teacher or her best friend, I can't remember, but it was someone from her high school days. She happened to be sitting next to me, and she like freaked out. I don't know if you've ever been with a star of a movie when they're like in a nude scene or like cursing or doing something crazy. But it was really funny to be behind Halle Berry when she's up on the screen, pretty much in her birthday suit, and to see the reaction of the people that knew her well. Everyone was shocked. But that's how it was at Poetic Justice too. And I met Tupac at that premiere for Poetic Justice. The thing that stood out for me with Tupac is he had these really long eyelashes, and they curled, and it gave a softness to his otherwise hard exterior. And it was kind of it was surprising when I saw those long eyelashes. I don't know why that stood out to me more than anything, but it really did. Denise E. Lee, do the 2 jackets I have, are they available to buy online? Not that I know of. I don't know. I got these jackets, from management 25 years ago. One, Michael Jackson. Is it true that Michael ever had any tantrums? I heard once by someone that he got mad and locked himself in a room, throwing things because he said that he didn't look good and he was mad. Frank Cassio's book is one of my favorites. If you want to know things like that, Frank Cassio really writes it all in his book, and I highly recommend it. Frank was there for a lot of those times. I think I first met Frank Cassio on the set of Ghosts. He was a little kid. He and his family were there. But yeah, Michael was not soft. He was tough, and when he was upset, he let people know. I think a lot of people have this misconception of him, that he was like a soft type of person, but he really wasn't. He was strong and tough. He was a lot like his father in that way. He didn't let things get by that he wasn't happy with. One, Michael Jackson, you're so lucky. How did you even get the chance to work for Michael Jackson? Did you have to audition or interview? I sent him my resume to work for his managers. It was just like luck. It really was. I mailed in my resume. I saw an ad in the Hollywood Reporter, and it said music management company seeks receptionists. It didn't even say what the name of the company was, but I was like, oh, music management, that should be fun. So these were the days when you actually had to mail, like snail mail, in your resume. And thank God I did. I mailed it in. I got an interview. I went and interviewed for the job, and I got it. So, can you imagine if I had not gotten the job? Everything would be different. But yeah, I got lucky, and really that's how it was, the old school way. And then for Ghosts, Michael called me and asked me to be in it. I didn't have to audition. It's scary as well. I didn't audition for it. Thankfully, Michael was just a sweetheart. He knew I wanted to be an actress. And there were other reasons why he cast me in his short films. I think I'm probably one of the only people who appeared in 2 of his short films, like as an actress. I think his dancers may have appeared in couple of his films, but I'm the only actress who did 2 of them with him. So that I'll always hold that dear to my heart. And that meant a lot to him too, because he always used to tell people, you know, Shana's the only person that I brought back from the original Is This Scary? She's the only cast member that I brought back. He was proud of that. He used to tell people that. And he told me that. When he called to ask me to be in Ghost, he said, you know, you're the only person I'm bringing back. So, you know, I'll always love him because of, you know, how sweet he was to me. I have nothing bad to say about him. He was just like wonderful. He really was. Mila, hello from Germany. Hi. I love you too. Crazy Flaco 1908. Please talk about unreleased songs. Okay. What do you want to know? Gabby, or did I ever meet Wade or Jimmy? Yeah, you know, as far as I know, I didn't meet Jimmy, although he was on the set of Is This Scary? But I wouldn't have recognized him because I think he was a little older by that time. But Wade, yeah, I've met Wade before. We did a movie together, Kazam, with Shaquille O'Neal. So I met him quite a few times, him and his mother. I remember they were at the Free Willy. We went to the Free Willy premiere, and Wade and his mom were there. I was there. I remember Dee Dee Jackson and 3T, they were all there. So yeah, I've met Wade quite a few times. You know, he was a kid at the time, so I don't have anything like, you know, earth-shattering to say about Wade. He was a child, and, you know, all children are, you know, there's nothing really you can say about a child. Now, the parents, on the other hand, I remember his mother was very, she was very happy to be in Michael Jackson's life. She acted like she was kind of like the queen, you know, of that premiere, and just like, you know, so I never really got a good feeling about his mom. And I think people in Michael's office, we used to kind of like, you know, joke about it, because she would call and ask for things, and just act like she just should get it. And I know that kind of just like rubbed me the wrong way. Do I have any idea if Michael's Legacy will release a new album, Alexia? As far as I know, Michael's estate is kind of focusing on his known hits. I think the Broadway show is their next project, so maybe there'll be an album in relation to that Broadway show. But as far as like the unreleased stuff, you know, I've tried to get those things released because I know it's something that the fans would love to hear. But they said they were focusing on the hits. I keep getting asked to play one of these songs. Paige Kennedy, hey! Hey, Paige Kennedy. Michael was the love of my life. You're so lucky to have had such a close relationship with him. Thanks, Paige. I haven't seen you in a while. We had fun with Michael Trapson doing all of those skits and stuff. And I'm happy to see you're doing well on TikTok as well. So go follow Paige Kennedy on TikTok. Oh, by the way, this is my original Victory Tour T-shirt from when I was 14, and it still fits. I wouldn't wear it in public, but yeah, I just found all these old T-shirts that I had when I was in the 80s. So this is from 1984. The 1984. I bought this at the Victory Tour. I keep all of my stuff. Cami Estrada is my book in Argentina. You can get it on Amazon. It's only in English, though. Unfortunately, it's not in your language. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play a little bit of one of these songs you guys have been asking me about, just like a few seconds, because you guys are like, I get asked so much to play 7 Digits or Don't Believe It. Whichever song is here that I pull up first will be the one that I play. But I'm not going to play more than like a few seconds because I can't. It's like, you know, I can't do that. I think this is Don't Believe It. So I don't know if you can hear it. This is like on my laptop, but here's a little bit of it. Don't believe it, don't believe it. I said, oh, don't believe it. You don't believe it. I said, oh, don't believe it, don't believe it. You don't believe it, don't you, don't believe it, don't. Okay. Are you happy now? That's as much as I can play. But that's one of my favorite unreleased songs of his that I think would be a hit even now. Like, there's enough of his vocals there that they could do something with, you know. I love that song, Don't Believe It. Moonwalker 2020. What did I say about Don't Believe It? Well, all I have to say about the unreleased songs that I have, most of them are they're like working tapes. So like Michael's writing the song on the tape. So like there's several, like for 7 Digits, there's like several versions of 7 Digits on the tape that I have. The tape is like 30 minutes long. So it's him singing 7 Digits over and over again, trying to like figure out the lyrics and the melody and just like playing with it, you know? And the same for Don't Believe It. He's just like writing the song. So these are like work tapes where he's like writing the song, and but you know, you get a good idea of what the song is going to be because he as you heard on the snippet of Don't Believe It that I played, there is a melody, and he sounded really good on those songs, especially Don't Believe It. I love that song. And Man in Black, I thought I had that song too, but I can't find it. But that was another one that wasn't released. Man in Black. Man in Black. Michael Jackson 1. Do you like Prince or listen to his music? Yeah. My favorite Prince song is this song called Anastasia. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. I mean, like, I can listen to that over and over loud and just like lose myself, and it's a powerful, powerful song. I've met Prince a couple of times. Actually, the last time when I was working in Vegas with David Copperfield, about maybe a week before I saw Michael for the last time, I saw Prince. He was performing at the Rio, and he had like this private show at this restaurant at the Rio. It's very small, and because I was with David Copperfield, you know, we had like the table like right in front. It was like a restaurant, and there's Prince performing right in front of you. And he came and sat at our table and like played his guitar, as you know, like right next to me. And then he gave me his guitar pick, which I've been looking for forever. But yeah, those were great times. They really were. And the first time I met him, I was with Magic Johnson. I used to be one of Magic Johnson's assistants, and we were in Vegas again. And he performed, I think, at the Aladdin. And he had an after party, or after show, I should say, at this club called Studio 54. Not the one in New York, but there was a Studio 54 at the MGM Grand, and Prince performed there. And Magic Johnson and I and some of other of Magic Johnson's friends and employees, we had like a private little meeting with Prince up in like the VIP area. And he came over and, you know, introduced himself to me. He was really shy. He was actually more shy than Michael. He could barely even look me in the eyes. And so, yeah, that's what I remember most about Prince. He was really shy and just very sweet. Yen Lioness, did I see myself marrying MJ? Yeah. I mean, seriously, I was in love with Michael. Like, I loved him. He consumed my every thought. It's hard when you're dealing with someone that dynamic and just that special, to just go about your everyday life and just not think about the things that are happening. And, you know, and I was very hopeful that things would work out with us, and I think a lot of people, like my bosses, they thought, you know, something was going to happen too. And I found this old document from the National Enquirer that I had completely forgotten about. My bosses, Michael's managers, had a meeting with the National Enquirer about creating a story about me being Michael's secret girlfriend. This was like before we even did Ghost. It was before the Jordan Chandler allegations. So that's what was in the works. And they were going to fly me over to, be on tour with him. I remember them telling me to get my passport, and it was really exciting. And then all of this stuff happened, and it just it changed. It put a stop to all of that. So Jordan Chandler changed all of our lives, and not for the better. I did run into Jordan Chandler, though, last summer at the grocery store. He must live near me because, he was stocking up on groceries. I hadn't seen him since he was a child. So when I first saw him, I was like, wow, that's a handsome man, because he's really gorgeous. He was gorgeous as a child, but he's handsome as a man. And I kept looking at him, and I was like, there's something about him that just looks familiar, And then it hit me. I was like, oh my God, that's Jordan Chandler. And I just couldn't believe it. And, he was normal. He was talking on the phone the whole time. He was there a long time at this grocery store, talking loudly on the phone. And he was just having a normal conversation. Because I was expecting him to be I don't know. Because this was this after Leaving Neverland came out? I think it was. So I was expecting him to be upset. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting him to just be a normal guy, just living his normal life. But he was, and he was so nice. I actually recorded him on my on my phone, and took pictures. So I have all those videos and video pictures of Jordan and how he looks now, and he was gorgeous. But I stood in line behind him at the checkout counter. His whole bag, his whole grocery cart was just filled with food, just to the top. And so it took him a long time to check out. So I was like, well, I'm going to go stand behind him, because I know this is going to take a long time. So I'll be able to, stand behind him for a long time. And and I was worried he was going to recognize me. I don't know why he would recognize me, but I was worried just in case. But he looked at me and he smiled, and I said hi. But I don't think he recognized me, thankfully. But yeah. So Jordan Chandler is alive and well. Aaliyah. Do I have a favorite outfit that Michael wore? Well, my favorite costume that Michael wore was his Bad Tour costume. The black pants and the buckles, and the silver things that went over him. Yeah, the Bad Tour costume. Did you guys like that song? Don't Believe It? Sorry I couldn't play more for you, but I'm sure it'll be on YouTube in a matter of seconds. One Michael Jackson, did I ever play games with Michael or fool around on the set of Ghost? You were so lucky to have worked with him. He's a legend and magical too. Thank you. Yeah, all day we were playing jokes on each other and just playing games, and the behind the scenes camera, they filmed a lot of that stuff. So when the making of came out and none of that stuff was in it, I was kind of mad. I was like, where's all this stuff we filmed? If anyone has those behind the scene tapes from Ghost, please let me know, because we set up little skits and stuff that we did for the cameras. So yeah, we had a lot of fun. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Yes, Chadwick's death was a shock. Did Michael like Mexican food? Yes, he did. He liked cheese enchiladas, and he loved spicy food. Did I ever meet Whitney Houston, the Universal Josiah? Yes, I did meet Whitney. I remember, I met her a few times, but I remember meeting her at, her and Bobby Brown at she had this premiere party for her album, I'm Your Baby Tonight. And she and Bobby were there. It was at the Hotel Bel Air. And I'll never forget it, because they were they were having a good time. And then the last time I saw Whitney was not long before she passed away. She was actually at Prince's concert that I attended at the Forum. This was like within the past 10 years. And Whitney was there with Bobby Christina, and they were sitting there in the audience. And I remember like being worried about both of them because they were like clearly not in the world. You know, they were gone. Both her and Bobby Christina. They were just acting really, really crazy and like wild, and it was concerning. So when she passed away, I wasn't all that surprised because, you know, I could tell that she was having some issues. And so was Bobby Christina, her daughter. Magic Mike 41, did Michael really believe people wanted to kill him, or was that just a tabloid rumor? No, he really believed that if he was that if he stepped out on the stage in America to perform a concert, that someone was going to kill him. He really believed that. So that's one of the reasons he didn't perform in America. I don't know why he felt that way, but I mean, I guess I do know why. I mean, if someone raids your home and goes through all of your personal stuff, which is what Tom Sneddon and, you know, the Santa Barbara investigators did, you're gonna feel raped, basically. You know, your whole you just feel like, you know, all of your privacy has been invaded, and you're just like left out there naked. Can you imagine if someone just burst into your home right now and just went through all of your stuff, and then all the stuff that they found gets paraded on a witness stand or in court in front of your mother? I mean, that was horrible what they did to him, just horrible. And so yeah, I understand why he was paranoid about getting killed or about being spied on, because he was. And I don't know how he lived as long as he did, because it's hard. It's hard going through that kind of stuff. But he was a strong man, and so he lived to be my age, 50, and it's only because of his strength that he was able to live that long, because he went through so much. Hi, Christine from the Philippines. I enjoyed, I don't know if you were on the live last night with us, but I enjoyed speaking to all of you guys in the Philippines. Trevon, what do I think Michael would be doing for his birthday if he were here? As I said, Michael didn't really celebrate his birthday unless he was like on stage, or if like someone surprised him with it. But he himself, because I remember in 1996, I wanted to get him a present, like after we did Ghosts. And I remember he was about to go on tour, the history tour. And so I asked his driver, Gary, what should I get him? Because I felt I had to get him something, because he had just been so wonderful that summer to me. And so Gary, his driver, said, well, you know, Michael doesn't celebrate birthdays. So if you do get him something, just don't even like mention birthday. Just make it like it's just a gift, just because. So because of his Jehovah's Witness background, he was really kind of like, you know, the birthday thing was just not normal with him. He didn't celebrate it, but of course he appreciated getting gifts and stuff. So I just I gave him a card and a handwritten note thanking him for being so wonderful and wishing him a great tour, the history tour. And I gave him like this, it was like a happy face filled with like candy, because he had a sweet tooth. So I figured candy would be like a safe thing to get. What do you get the man that has everything, you know? So I wrote him a card from the heart. And so yeah. Gabby, or Brighton's mother, told me the same about Joy Robson. Brighton's mother and I, Brighton McClure, who is on, Brighton James, who's on Young and the Restless, and he used to be on Family Matters. Brighton's mother and I actually were like really, really good friends. We used to hang out all the time. So I'm not surprised that she has the same feelings about Joy Robson that I do. Brianna, did Michael know about House Party, and did he remember you from his party after the concert? I don't think he knew about House Party, because I never mentioned it. I don't know, when I was around Michael, he was who I was focused on. I never like mentioned anything from the past. I didn't mention the New York party either, but when Michael came into our office for the first time, the management office, and his managers introduced me to him. It's like 1992. Jim Morey, who was his manager, said, Michael, Shana is your biggest fan, and she met you in New York. So he told him that. So I think he did know, but we never really had like a conversation about it. Oh, thank you, one Michael Jackson. That's so sweet. Thank you about giving me a hug. Yeah, whenever I start talking about Michael, I just get choked up. I can't even help it. It's just, I'm a really sensitive person, and just thinking about him and really seeing how life is now, how crazy and like sad and like depressing. There feels like a dark cloud is over this entire world. And back when Michael was here and in the 90s and 80s, it was just a completely different world. It was just exciting and fun, and every day was just happiness. And we don't have that now. At least I don't. Renee Earl, any advice for us fans who know we will never get to meet Michael? Michael passed when you were 7 and you were hoping to go to This Is It concert with your mother. I feel really bad for you guys who never got to meet Michael or to at least see him in concert, because he was someone that will never come again. He was just this bright light, and I say he was magical a lot, but he really was. Like, his eyes had a sparkle to them, and it wasn't like a normal human being's eyes. They were magical. They really were. They sparkled, and they drew you in. And I'm serious. Anyone who knew Michael and who was around him for an amount of time, they ended up falling in love with him. It was just impossible not to. I think a lot of the parents of those kids that ended up suing him or turning against him, a lot of those parents, it was because of them, because they had gotten used to being with him, and and he really was like a drug. I think Lisa Marie said that in one of her interviews. She was right. He was like a drug, and not only for us girls who like we were in love with him, but the parents of these kids who they were hanging around him. When you got used to that lifestyle and used to Michael's energy and his fun nature, when that was taken away from you, it was hard to deal. It was hard to get back into the real world and just like be a regular person again without Michael, the magician, in your life. So a lot of those parents would get upset, and that's when the problems started. Rico MJ, did Michael sing and Remember the Time on the Dangerous tour? He did it in rehearsal, but not in the actual concert. And by the way, in rehearsal, he did everything live. I was at a couple of the rehearsals, and he did the whole show live. I don't know why, like when the concert came, suddenly like a lot of the songs weren't live, because he sounded amazing on all of the songs. MJ TV Cook, would they really come after me if I released the audio of those songs? Yeah, I can't release Michael Jackson songs. Nobody can. So when you hear stuff, it's usually leaked, and it's from someone who taped something that was leaked like at a seminar or something. No one is gonna like release a good quality copy of an unreleased song. Not only Michael Jackson, but anybody, because you just can't do it. It's against the law. These are properties that belong to him, and so we can't do it. You can play a few seconds like I did and be okay, but it's not like I can just like say, oh hey, I have the new Michael Jackson single here and I'm releasing it. Can't do that. I'm glad you guys, I'm just catching up to your opinions on Don't Believe It. I'm glad that you guys liked it. What would you want to say to Michael if he were near you, Shana? Giovanni. I dreamed about Michael last night. I dream about him like all the time. And it's always the same dream. I dream he is back, like alive, and like everyone's like, oh my God, Michael's alive. Remember when he was dead? Yeah, he's alive now. That's like, it's a recurring dream that I have like all the time. I don't dream about anyone else like this but him. But it's like he's back, he's young, and it's as if he has come back. And I guess it's a fantasy that I have, and I wish it would come true. And ironically, I did the short films that I did with him, Is This Scary and Ghost, that's the storyline where all of the mean, evil people in the town, they were so mean and evil that they killed him, basically. That's the storyline of Ghosts and Is This Scary. And he's lying there dead on the ground. And here I am, I was standing there with Michael. Michael was the mayor, and we were standing next to each other looking at a dummy that was made up to be Michael Jackson dead on the ground. So I experienced Michael's death with Michael. And so that was surreal, and it's something I think about often. And I remember when they first laid the Michael dummy down on the ground, and you can see this if you watch Ghost, by the way, this scene. Michael was standing there and I was standing there, and Michael was just staring at this dummy that looked like him dead. And I know he was thinking, wow, that's how I'm gonna look when I'm dead. And I remember trying to break the ice, and I said, oh, Michael, you're dead. Because I didn't know what else to say. Here he is, it's just quiet, and he's staring at his dead body, and I didn't know what to say. So I said, oh, you're dead. Stupid me. And so he looked at me and just looked at me and didn't laugh. He didn't giggle, which is what he would normally do. He would normally giggle or laugh, but this time he just looked at me with sad eyes and didn't say a word. And then he turned back to stare at the dead body on the ground, the dummy. And it was an awkward moment, but it was deep. So I guess I'm one of the only people, me and the other people on the set of Ghosts that day, who got to experience Michael's death with him. And then the scene was, Stan Winston, the director, he was walking us through the scene, and the scene was, imagine that Michael Jackson has died, and Michael's standing right here. Okay, so Stan Winston is saying, Michael's never going to say your name again. You're never going to be able to laugh with him again. You're never going to be able to have fun with him again. Imagine that. Imagine that Michael is gone and you're never going to see him again. And we were all able to put ourselves into that mindset, and many of us had tears in our eyes. I know I cried, a tear came down from my eye. And so I experienced Michael's death with Michael on the set of Ghosts, and it's something that I think about a lot, and it was deep. Robbie Morrison Official, you remember me from Family Matters? That was a fun show to do with Jaleel White and Steve Urkel and Darius McCary. We had fun. We were all young, they were all young teenagers. Lovin' Lovezier, you didn't know that he sang Dangerous live over the playback of the American Music Awards in '93, so just the audience got to experience him singing it live. I was there. I had a really good seat for the American Music Awards when he did Dangerous. I don't remember him doing it live. Maybe one portion. But he did that dance part of Dangerous. I don't remember that being live. I have the ticket. I found the ticket here somewhere for those American Music Awards recently. Who else? Who else wants to go live? Hi. Hi. Hi, Elizabeth. Oh, you're so cute. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm in California.
You're in California? What part?
Calexico.
Cool.
I'm about to cry.
Oh. How old are you?
I just turned 12.
What? 12?
Yeah.
Oh my God. That is so sweet. So how did you become a Michael Jackson fan at 12?
I still remember once I was in kinder, and we were about to graduate. So my teacher, we would do a performance if you're graduating kinder. And I remember my teacher playing the Jackson 5 ABCs, and we were going to do that. And then after that, I came home and I asked my mom, who was singing that song? Because I liked it. And then she presented me to Michael Jackson, and every single day I would be playing it. Every day, even at night when everyone's asleep, I was still over here dancing. I know I was little, so I didn't get everything right, but I still really liked to dance because it was
Good.
And I like to see that. And then I watch your videos, and I'm very inspired by how you experience that and how you're like putting the stories. I have your book, which is in my room. I ordered another copy. I don't know
Oh,
why.
thank you. That makes me
Yeah.
feel so good.
And I remember reading it for the first time. I'm like, oh my God, she actually met, the king of pop and actually worked with her. And I'm like, I feel so jealous. Like,
Oh, don't feel jealous.
no, but I always look back at Ghost because like, it's a very, a nice video, but it was scary for most kids when growing up. Because I remember watching it as a kid. I was like, oh my God, he turned into an actual skeleton because I didn't
Yeah.
know about those special effects. And I didn't know that that would happen, but I remember Thriller scared me more.
Oh darn, because he wanted Ghost to be scarier than Thriller. That was his goal, for it to be
Yeah, I
scarier.
remember watching Ghost, and I'm like, oh, did he just turn into a skeleton? Because I remember once thinking maybe I could be a like professional dancer and be like him.
Sure.
Yeah, and I still dance to this day, but sometimes I don't dance because like I give myself pain from dancing because it's a little too hard. Because I remember Scream, the music video
Oh
he
yeah.
did with his sister Janet, that dance where they slide on their knees and then go like
Yeah.
that. I know it, but sometimes I'll do it on the carpet or I'll do it like on the tile, which I get bruises when I do
Oh no no
on the
no.
tile.
You have to wear knee pads. Michael and Janet were wearing knee pads. Even Michael
Yeah, I
in
was
concert, he
wearing.
wore knee pads. So that's
Yeah,
what you
I
have to
would
do.
wear that. No, it's because I do wear them, but like if I'm doing it on the carpet, it's okay because it's not tile and the tile is
Mhm.
very hard.
Did you learn the choreography for that video?
Yeah.
Wow, that's hard. It's not easy to do that.
Sometimes I want to record it, but sometimes I feel like I look dumb
I want to
doing it.
see it. Can you do it and send it to me, please? I
Yeah,
want to
I was
see it.
gonna do it for my TikTok, but
Yeah.
people bully me on my TikTok because I like, Michael Jackson and they call him a
Yeah.
pedophile, which I'm like, that's not true,
But you have a whole group of fans here and who are your family who will support you.
Yeah,
So,
I love posting about him because it's like very inspiring and everything like that. And
yeah.
I can't believe I'm on here right now.
No.
Right now, you sent me a
You're so
request.
intelligent. Like I see great things for you in your future, really. Well, you
Yeah,
keep Michaeling on, don't let the bullies deter you from loving Michael. He, he sets a good example for kids, and he's someone that you should look up to, and he should inspire you, as opposed to those old, Cardi B's and Nicki Minaj's of the world.
yeah,
Michael has class, and he's someone that you should aspire to be like. And I'm so happy that you're his fan. It was nice
yeah,
talking to you, Elizabeth. So please send me your video dancing
yeah. I'll
like Michael.
send
I
you
can't wait to
some.
see it. You
Yeah,
promise?
and yes,
And
yeah, but yes, I will send you the video.
okay. Thank you. It was
I
so
love you
nice to
so
talk to
much.
you. I love you.
Bye.
Bye bye. Oh, that was so sweet. But, everyone, have a great night, and I love you all. Bye bye.